The purpose of this video is to give you a very quick revision of medieval Indian history part, which is often a very neglected part by most of the UPSC candidates. We'll try to do so with the help of very basic MCQs to revise all the concepts of medieval Indian history in a very quick manner. Now see the first question. In this we have to figure out the correct statements. The first statement says that Aibak issued the silver coins taka bearing his name. The first statement goes wrong because silver coin taka was issued by Sultan Iltutmish. Then the second statement says that Aibak patronized Hassan Nizami, the writer of Kitabul Hind. The second statement also goes wrong because the famous book Kitabul Hind was written by the great historian Al-Biruni. So both this statement they go wrong. The next question says that how did Qutbuddin Aibak die? It is very interesting to know that when Qutbuddin Aibak was playing Chaugan, horse polo, he fell down from the horse and he died accidentally. So here the answer would be B, that he died after the fall from his horse while he was playing Chaugan. The next question says that the famous writer Minhal us Siraz dedicated his book Tabqat-e-Nasiri to which of the following sultans of Delhi? The answer is very simple. Tabqat-e-Nasiri was dedicated to Nasiruddin Mahmud. Who was Nasiruddin Mahmud? He was son of Iltutmish. And Iltutmish Sultan had patronized the great scholar Minhas us Siraj. Answer here would be A. Another question says that Fawazil in Sultanate period meant. Look, when you talk about the Iqtadars, they had the right to correct the revenue from Iqta for their salary. But if the revenue that was collected from the Iqta was more than the salary assigned to them, then they had to return the excess amount to the exchequer. This excess amount was called fawazil. So answer here would be C. The next question says that Aibak was also known as Lakhbaksh. It's correct statement because Aibak was very generous in his nature, and that is why many of the contemporary historians and the people they called him as Lakhbaksh. Then the second statement says that Aibak shifted his capital from Lahore to Delhi. It's wrong. The initial capital of Delhi Sultanate was in Lahore and it was shifted to Delhi in times of Iltutmish, not in times of Aibak. Then the third statement says that Iltutmish introduced the Iqtadari system. This is correct. The main administrative system in Delhi Sultanate was Iqtadari system, and this was introduced during the time of Iltutmish. Then the next question says that about Iltutmish, we have to figure out the correct statements that he introduced the silver coin Taka and the copper coin called Zetal. So Iltutmish was the first sultan who introduced very standard coinage system in India and introduced Taka and Zetal like coins in India. So first is correct. Second, he set up an official nobility of slaves known as Chahalgani or Chalisa group of 40. It is correct. Iltutmish created a group of 40 most powerful nobles, Turkish nobles. This group of 40 most powerful Turkish nobles, it was called Chalisa or Chahalgani group. This was very powerful during the time of Iltutmish, and in fact, when Iltutmish died, it became the biggest trouble for the family of Iltutmish, and gradually Razia Sultan, Nasiruddin Mahmud, all of them they started failing to control the situation because the Chalisa group eventually dominated them. Then the next question says that Altunia was appointed as Amir Akhur by Razia. This statement goes wrong. Razia Sultan became ruler after Iltutmish, and Razia Sultan tried to counter the influence of the Chalisa or Chahalgani group, and that is why she wanted to create one non-Turkish group of nobility and started giving very important posts to the non-Turkish nobles like Malik Yaqut. So Yaqut was appointed as Amir Akhur, the head of the Department of Horses. And that is why the first statement goes wrong. Now, when Razia started doing so, the Turkish nobles like Altunia, they became very rebellious. Altunia was basically the governor of Sirhind and he revolted against Razia Sultan. So, the first statement that Altunia was appointed as Amir Akur was wrong. Yakut was appointed as Amir Akur. And the second statement that says that Yakut was the rebellious governor of Sirhind, this is again wrong because the rebellious governor of Sirhind was Malik al-Tunia who revolted against Razia Sultan. The next statement says that Amir Khusro's name is associated with the invention of which of the following musical instruments? Look, Amir Khusro contributed a lot towards music and then he is credited with designing of so many new musical instruments that time like tabla and sitar. So answer here would be B, sitar. The next question says that after consolidating his power, Balban assumed the grand title of. So Balban constantly was trying to raise the prestige of Sultan, and that is why he started emphasizing on the theory of divinity of kingship. And he started assuming the titles like Jalaillahi and the titles like Niyabate Khudai to impose his authority over other nobles. So answer here would be C, Jalaillahi. The next question says that which of the following ruler of Delhi established the military department that is Diwan-e-Arij or Diwan-e-Arj? So, the Department of Military in Delhi Sultanate, it was called Diwan-e-Arij and this was introduced in times of Balban. Balban introduced, Balban created the Department of Military called Diwan-e-Arij. Then Padmavat was written by. Now, Padmavat was the famous book that was written by Malik Muhammad Jaisi. And there we get the description of Jauhar of Rani Padmavati. Padmavati. This was during the attack of Alauddin Khilji over Chittor. This was the time Rani Padmavati committed Jauhar. That description we get from the famous book Padmavat written by Malik Muhammad Jaisi. The next question is regarding Alauddin Khilji. It says that Alauddin Khilji built his fort at Siri. It is correct. Siri Fort is in Delhi. And interestingly, you should know that when there was a Mongol attack over Delhi, that was the time Alauddin Khilji from the Siri Fort, putting his army, defended Delhi against the Mongols. Second says that he added an entrance door to the Qutub Minar, which is called Alai Darwaja. Again, this is correct. Just before Qutub Minar, the entrance that was created by Alauddin Khilji, it was called Alai Darwaja. It's a very good example of Delhi Sultanate architecture where a scientific method of making dome and arch-like structure has been used. The next question says that Diwan-e-Arij for the first time was set up in India by Alauddin Khilji. This statement goes wrong. Diwan-e-Arij was basically the military department and this was introduced in Delhi Sultanate by the time of Balban. So Balban created the Department of Military in Delhi Sultanate. It was called Diwan-e-Arij. Then the second statement says that Alauddin Khilji introduced the system of Dag and Chehra. It is correct. Alauddin Khilji further streamlined the military system. He introduced the system of Dag and Chehra. So what was Dag? Dag was the branding of horse. And what was Chehra? The description or the hulia of the soldier that was maintained. It was called Chehra. Dag, branding of horse. Chehra, the description of the soldier. All these systems were introduced into military in Delhi Sultanate time in times of Alauddin Khilji. The next question says that Shehnai Mandi appointed during the reign of Alauddin Khilji was responsible for which of the following? Alauddin Khilji was always known for the market reforms and he created multiple markets. Now, each of these markets, they were headed by one officer called Shehnai Mandi. So, the answer here would be D, that he headed the markets created by Alauddin Khilji. The next question says that which of the following is correct about Muhammad bin Tughlaq's agrarian reforms? So, Muhammad bin Tughlaq contributed a lot toward development of agriculture in Delhi Sultanate. He established a separate department for agriculture that was called Diwan-e-Amir Kohi. It was set up during the reign of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Then he issued the takawi or agricultural loans to the farmers to improve the area under cultivation in his rule. So both the statement they would go correct. The next question says that the king was freed from his people and they from the king. On whose death did Badayuni comment this? It's very interesting to know that the most learned ruler in Delhi Sultanate was Muhammad bin Tughlaq. But at the same time, he was very impractical and in multiple experiments he failed, like the issuing of the token currency, like the shifting of the capital. All these experiments of Muhammad bin Tughlaq failed, and eventually the people they were getting so much troubled by his experiments that when he died, probably the people they got free from all these experiments. And that is what Badayuni reflected in his comment when he said that on death of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, that the king was free from the people and the people from the king. Answer here would be C, Muhammad bin Tughlaq. The next question says that Sultan of Delhi, who is reputed to have built the biggest network of canal in India was. The answer is simple, Firoz Shah Tughlaq. A very weak monarch was Firoz Shah Tughlaq, but his greatest contribution came in field of agriculture, where he constructed the biggest network of canal in Delhi Sultanate. He contributed also a lot towards horticulture, where he founded nearly 1200 fruit gardens. The next question says that which of the following Afghan chiefs invited Babur to India? It's very interesting to know that Babur defeated Ibrahim Lodi in the first battle of Panipat in 1526. But when Babur came to India, he was invited by Rana Sangha of Mewar, Daulat Khan Lodi of Punjab, and Alam Khan Lodi, who was uncle of Ibrahim Lodi. All the three, Daulat Khan Lodi, Alam Khan Lodi, and Rana Sangha, they had invited Babur to India. So, who were the Afghan chiefs? Daulat Khan Lodi and Alam Khan Lodi. They had invited Babur to come to India. Answer here would be D, 1 and 2. The next question says that which of the following is the correct chronological order of the Afghan rulers to the throne of Delhi? We should know that the Lodis, they were the first Afghan dynasty to rule over Delhi. And the Lodi dynasty, if you talk about the chronological sequence, first was the founder Bahlul Lodi, then came Sikandar Lodi, and eventually came Ibrahim Lodi, the last Lodi ruler and the last Delhi Sultan, who was defeated by Babur, who established Mughal Empire. The next question says that we have to find a chronological order in which these buildings they were constructed. Now, simple, just try to understand that Fatehpur Sikri was constructed in times of Akbar. Fatehpur Sikri, nearby Agra, it was built during the time of Akbar. Qutub Minar, it was started by Qutbuddin Aibak and it was completely constructed in times of Iltutmish. Then Lodi Gardens, they were founded in times of Lodi rulers like Sikandar Lodi. And Tughlaqabad Fort, it was constructed in times of Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq. So the last to come should be 4, and that is why we can pick 2 options. And the first to come should be 3, then 1 is eliminated, and then B would be the answer. Next, question says that in Delhi Sultanate, the law of primogeniture was strictly followed. First of all, what is law of primogeniture? That the eldest son should become the next ruler. Certainly, this was not the case. Iltutmish captured power, Rajia Sultan captured power, Alauddin Khalji captured power. We find that so many sultans they could capture the throne because of their merit and strength. It was hardly that the law of primogeniture was followed in Delhi Sultanate. The second statement says that Diwan-e-Risalat was headed by Chief Sadr. It is correct. What was Diwan-e-Risalat? It was the department that was heading over the religious affair. And the Chief Sadr was the chief officer looking after the religious affair. So it was the Chief Sadr who headed over the department of religion that was called Diwan-e-Risalat. The next question says that Jaunpur was founded by Muhammad bin Tughlaq or Jana Khan. It's incorrect. Jaunpur was founded by Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Sultan Firoz Shah Tughlaq founded this city, Jaunpur, in memory of his cousin brother Muhammad bin Tughlaq, who was actually called Jana Khan. So here the statement goes wrong. It was not founded by Muhammad bin Tughlaq but by Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Then second, Bengal was famous for production of muslin. So what was muslin? Look, there were two types of cotton clothes which were very famous export from India. One, it was called calicos. One, it was called calicos. They were very famous cotton cloth production from South. From Bengal, the famous cotton cloth production was that of muslin. And again, if this is so, the second statement goes correct that Bengal was famous production center for muslin. Now, this question says that Ibn Battuta has given reference to the times of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. This is correct. Ibn Battuta was the Moroccan traveler who wrote the famous book Rehla, and he reached India in times of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. The second statement says that during the rule of Delhi Sultanate, Hindus were considered Jimmis and had to pay jizya. So under Delhi Sultanate, under the rule of the Islamic rulers, the Hindus, they would be considered the protected ones and they would be called Jimmis. And they had to pay a protection tax that was a religious tax and that was called jizya. So the second statement also is correct. The next question says that Sabak-e-Hind was a style of poetry. It is correct. The great writer, singer, and the poet Amir Khusro. Amir Khusro. Amir Khusro invented a unique style of poetry that was called Sabak-e-Hind. So, first statement is correct. The second statement says that Raj Tarangani is a famous book of musical ragas. This is incorrect. The Raj Tarangani was the famous history of Kashmir that was written by Kalhan and is considered one of the best histories written in India up to the early medieval times. The next question says that the Mughals are also referred as Timurids. It's very interesting to know that the Mughals claim their descent from father's side from the family of Timur and from mother's side from the family of Genghis Khan. But they represented themselves from father's side more and they always took the pride in calling themselves as the Timurids. So first statement is correct. Then the second statement says that Babur defeated Uzbek chief Sivani Khan to capture Fargana. This is incorrect. Babur was son of the Uzbek ruler Umar Sheikh Mirza. And after death of Umar Sheikh Mirza, Babur became ruler of Fargana. But there, Babur was defeated by the Uzbek chief Sivani Khan. And from there, he had to run away to Kabul. And from there, later he invaded the areas around northern India and was successful in establishing the Mughal Empire. The next question says that Alam Khan, one of those who invited Babur to invade India, was. We have already discussed that Alam Khan Lodi, he was uncle of Ibrahim Lodi, Daulat Khan Lodi, who was the governor of Punjab, and Rana Sanga of Mewar. All of them, they had invited Babur to invade India, and Babur came to India and defeated Ibrahim Lodi in the Battle of Panipat in 1526 to establish Mughal Empire. Then the next question is a matchmaking question. After defeating Ibrahim Lodi in the Battle of Panipat, Babur also fought so many other major battles. Like one of them was Battle of Khanwa, where he defeated Rana Sanga. The first pair is correct. The second pair says Battle of Chandawar Medni Rai. This is also correct. Babur fought the Battle of Chanderi to defeat Medni Rai, who was one of the close associates of Rana Sanga. The third says the Battle of Ghagra and Ibrahim Lodi. The third match certainly goes wrong because Ibrahim Lodi had been defeated by Babur in the Battle of Panipat in 1526 itself. So the third match is gone. The next question says that Babur wrote his memoir in Persian called Tajuk-e Babri. It's wrong. Babur was excellent writer and he wrote Tujuke Babri in Turkish. Second statement says that Babur used Tulguma system of warfare. Tulguma was a Mongol style of fighting. And Babur used this Tulguma system of fighting in the Battle of Panipat that proved instrumental in his success. If this is so, then the second statement is correct. The next question says that Humayun was defeated by Sher Shah in the Battle of Chausa. True, Sher Shah defeated Humayun twice. One, the Battle of Chausa, and the second was the Battle of Kannauj or the Battle of Bilgram. And then Sher Shah captured power. So then first statement goes right. Then in the Battle of Bilgram or the Battle of Kannauj, Bahadur Shah of Gujarat defeated Humayun. This is incorrect. Humayun in the Battle of Bilgram or the Battle of Kannauj was defeated by Sher Shah. So the second statement goes wrong. Then we have to go for a matchmaking again. Mir Sayyid Ali and Abdul Samad, who they were? Look, when Humayun was defeated by Sher Shah, he had to run away to Iran. And from there, when he came back later to India, he brought two great painters, Mir Sayyid Ali and Abdul Samad, which started the real development in Mughal painting. So the first pair goes wrong. Mir Sayyid Ali and Abdul Samad, they were the great painters. Then Haji Begum. Haji Begum was one of the wives of Humayun and she constructed Humayun's tomb. Certainly, then the second pair would also go wrong. Gulbadan Begum was sister of Humayun and she wrote Humayun Nama. So the third pair also goes wrong. The next question says that Sher Shah Suri is associated with which of the following acts and reforms? Introduction of Dag and Chehra in military for the first time. It's wrong. We have already discussed that it was Alauddin Khalji who had introduced the system of Dag and Chehra in military. So the first statement goes wrong. Then restoration of Grand Trunk Road. Correct, it is Sher Shah reconstructed the Grand Trunk Road. Then certainly Sher Shah built so many sarais and dak chowkis for the welfare of the people. And fourth, that making rupaya a unit of currency, it's also correct because Sher Shah introduced a very standard coinage, silver coinage in India that was called rupaya. That became a standard coinage system in India. And we're still using the term like rupee. The next question says that in the second battle of Panipat in 1526, Bairam Khan defeated Hemo Vikramaditya. This statement goes wrong. The second battle of Panipat was in 1556, where the Mughal army led by Bairam Khan defeated Hemchandra Vikramaditya, re-established the Mughal dynasty, and that is what made Akbar the ruler. Then Abdul Rahim Khan Khana was son of Bairam Khan. It is correct. Bairam Khan's son was Abdul Rahim, and Bairam Khan got the title of Khane Khana. So later, Abdul Rahim was also given the title of Khane Khana by Akbar. Again, we have to go for a matchmaking question. Battle of Chausa, 1539. This is correct. In the Battle of Chausa, Sher Shah defeated Humayun. And later he defeated Humayun again in the Battle of Kannauj and the Battle of Bilgram in 1540 to capture the throne. Then, second, Battle of Panipat, 1576 is wrong. The second Battle of Panipat was in 1556. The Mughal army, led by Bairam Khan, defeated Hemchandra Vikramaditya to re-establish Mughal empire and to make Akbar the ruler. Battle of Haldighati, 1556, again it's wrong pair. It was in 1576. There was a fight between Akbar and Maharana Pratap. Now the next question says that which of the following buildings are found at Fatehpur Sikri? We know that Fatehpur Sikri was established and built by Akbar just nearby Agra. So when you talk about Humayun's tomb, which is in Delhi, certainly 5 cannot be there. If you eliminate 5 from A, if you eliminate 5 from B, and if you eliminate 5 from D, we get the answer 1, 2, 3, and 4. So Buland Darwaja, Jodhavai Palace, tomb of Salim Chishti, and Panch Mahal, they all are there in the fort come palace complex of Fatehpur Sikri. The next question says that you have to go for a pair. matchmaking? Raja Todarmal, land revenue administration? True it is. He was the most instrumental in Akbar's administration for the creation of, for the coming up of the Dehsala revenue system. Dehsala revenue system during the time of Akbar. So first is correct. Then Abul Fazl, again one of the Navratnas in times of Akbar. He was the writer of Ain-e-Akbari and not Babar Nama. Second pair would go wrong. Abdul Rahim Khan Khana was not the writer of Ain-e-Akbari but was the writer of Babar Nama. What was Babar Nama? It was a translation, Persian translation of Sujuk-e Babri, which was originally written by Babar. Then the next question says that the actual name of Noor Jahan was actually called Mehrunisha, and Mehrunisha was the widow of Sher Afghani, and she got later married to Jahangir. Then, which of the following Sikh Guru was sentenced to death by Jahangir for blessing rebel Prince Khusro? The rebel Prince Khusro was supported by Guru Arjan Dev, the fifth Sikh Guru, and he was executed on the orders of Jahangir. So, answer here would be A. The next question says that during the time of which of the Mughal emperor did the English East India Company establish its first factory in India? The first factory in India came in 1608 in Surat. The permission was given. Actually, the factory was established in 1613, but all this was the time of Jahangir, who ruled from 1605 to 1627. So, answer here would be C. Now, this question says that which of the above were introduced into India by the British? First says assessment of the land revenue on the basis of nature of soil and the quality of crops. Certainly, this type of system has already been used by Sher Shah and Akbar. We cannot say that the British introduced this into India. Then the use of mobile cannons in warfare. Babur had already used the mobile cannons in good scale in the Battle of Panipat. You cannot say that the British introduced this technique in India. And third, cultivation of tobacco and red chilies. Certainly, it was not introduced by the British in India because the Portuguese introduced the red chilies and tobacco into India. The next question says again a matchmaking question and asking that which of the following pairs is not correct. Now, the famous traveler, the famous ambassador and the traveler from England, Sir Thomas Roe, came to the court of Jahangir. And he came to the court of Jahangir as the ambassador of the British Crown, James I. So here, Sir Thomas Roe certainly did not come in times of Akbar, and then we have to figure out incorrect pair. B would be the answer. Then, in this question, we have to figure out correct statements. Aurangzeb defeated forces of Dara in the Battle of Kajwa. No, Dara Shikoh was defeated in the battles like the Battle of Dharmat and the Battle of Shamugar. So the first statement goes wrong. Then after death of Shah Jahan in 1657, Aurangzeb captured power. Again, this statement goes wrong because when Aurangzeb captured power, Shah Jahan was still alive and he was basically imprisoned in Agra on the orders of Aurangzeb. The next question says that Bijapur and Golconda were annexed by Mughals in times of Bijapur and Golconda. They were basically Deccani kingdoms. And in Deccan, they were captured on the orders of Aurangzeb. It was a blunder that was committed by Aurangzeb because this exposed the Mughals to the Maratha attacks in Deccan, and it became one of the reasons that led to decline of the Mughals. Then this question says that Aurangzeb appointed revenue officers called Muhtasibs. It's incorrect. Muhtasibs were the officers appointed by Aurangzeb to maintain the moral standard of the people. So Muhtasibs basically were regulating the people for a moral behavior. Intolerant ruler was Aurangzeb, and certainly he was showing very intolerant religious behavior by appointing the officers called Muhtasibs for moral policing. Then Aurangzeb executed the fifth Sikh Guru Arjan Dev. The second statement also goes wrong. Fifth Sikh Guru Arjan Dev was executed in the orders of Jahangir, and Aurangzeb ordered the execution of ninth Sikh Guru, Guru Tegh Bahadur. Guru Tegh Bahadur. So the second statement also goes wrong. Then again, we have to go for a matchmaking. Mir Bakshi, who was Mir Bakshi in the Mughal administration, he was the head of the military administration. The first is correct. Then Muhtasibs, who were Muhtasibs? They were the officers to maintain the public morality. So the second statement and the match goes wrong. Baris, in Mughal administration, they were the intelligence officers. So the third match also goes wrong. Only the first is correct. The next question says that Kotwal looked after the Department of Correspondence. It's wrong. Kotwal maintained the law and order in the towns in Mughal times. And second statement says that Daroga-e Dak Chowki maintained law and order in towns. It's incorrect. Daroga-e Dak Chowki looked after the Department of Correspondence in Mughal time period. The next question says that Todarmal was one of the Navratnas. True. He was one of the Navratnas in times of Akbar, and he was instrumental in the restructuring of the revenue system in times of Akbar, which came to be known as Dehsala system. Then from Khalisa land, income went directly to the royal exchequer. This is correct, because when you talk about the Khalisa land, it was the state land, and the revenue of this would directly go to the state. Another category of land was Jagir land, and the revenue of Jagir land would be used to give the salary to the Mansabdars. So both the statements 1 and 2, they are correct. Then the question says that the head of military department under the recognized central machinery of administration during Akbar's reign. Just now we discussed that the head of military department was Mir Bakshi. So B would be the answer. This question says that the Banjaras during the medieval period of Indian history were generally, so in medieval time, the Banjaras, they were like traders, and they were carrying the goods from one place to another. So they would carry the goods for a big distance, and they were like the traders in medieval times. So answer here would be D, traders. Now this is what I wanted to discuss with you in this session of revision through MCQs. Very soon I would be there with you with a new session. Thank you.